Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So welcome. I'm Megan Bruce, Dean of Students for Northeast Maritime Institute. Nice to see everybody here and some of our most recent graduates in the audience. So I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today. Before we begin, may I ask everyone, please make sure your cell phones are on silent, including everyone on the stage. Very good. Okay. So we welcome family, friends, faculty, staff, and graduates to the 9th commencement program for the Northeast Maritime Institute College of Maritime Science. Now, if everyone can please rise for the United States National Anthem. Thank you, everyone. Be seated. So I'm delighted and privileged to be here today celebrating the two graduating classes of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct privilege to introduce our Honorable President Eric DeWicki for the welcoming address.
Family, friends, students, and future graduates. It's always a cool thing when we get to have this moment to celebrate the efforts that you've made. It is humbling to watch each and every one of you with your own story, with your own successes, with your own struggles, to achieve so much in just 2 short years. I tell this often to folks that our students in just 2 years have the same nautical science rigor that the 4-year academies endure. And it allows them to go into a profession, not a trade. It's the second most regulated industry in the world outside of the medical industry. In 2 years, you enter that industry as professionals. And it's something you can really be proud of. And you really earn this. So when we come here to celebrate the success, please know that these students endured incredible amounts of work to achieve what they have achieved in just 2 years. You come from different places, different backgrounds, different countries, and together you succeeded. So NMI in this micro-college model, it's a micro-college. We focus on the students' academic rigor, that's guaranteed. But we also focus on their emotional and social intellect to allow them to grow emotionally, to heal emotionally, in cases, to actually understand how the world operates and how they can connect the dots by observing others and how they will succeed in their futures. So when we really come here to celebrate them, to celebrate their differences, and to celebrate their diversity, it's an amazing thing to me. And as a guy who really loves his country, I really love my country because it's a place where my mother's family got kicked out of their country. This place accepted them. My father's family got kicked out of Poland. The United States accepted that family. It's the only place where we could be accepted. And the United States is a place where we accept people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all religions, all nationalities. And we must continue to embrace that. I'm going to tell you guys, you need to embrace that and hold on to it as tight as you possibly can. That's not a political statement. That's a values statement. That's who we are as human beings, to be kind, to be decent, to care about one another, to be good shipmates. I've met 2 kinds of people in my life that I really, really embrace as human beings: farmers and sailors. They're the salt of the earth. And you, mariners, you professional mariners, are the salts of the earth. You'll give somebody the last shirt off your back if they are in need, because that's what you learned here and at home. Semper Redere, to always give back. Davitsky means to give back. I've told this story before. I gave a speech at the International Maritime Organization to provide technical assistance to the government of Nigeria, who just simply wanted help in creating regulations to clean up oil spills because their shorelines were getting polluted. And two of the biggest countries at IMO voted against. So I gave a speech how it was our duty to lift up those in need. I got a lot of hisses, and I got a lot of standing ovation at the same time. At the end of that conversation, it was coffee break. And this little guy about this tall comes up to me, blonde hair, he had a walrus mustache. Even though he was so short, he intimidated the hell out of me. He comes up and he says, "Mister, I must talk to you." I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I offended this guy. He says, "My name is Andrzej Królikowski from Poland. I am the Maritime Administrator." "Yes, sir, nice to meet you." He says, "Your name, Dewiki. It is not Dewiki." I said, well, in the United States, we anglicize every name, and so we pronounce it Dewiki. "No, it's Dawicki. Say it." I tried it 3 times before I got it right. He then said to me, "Do you know what it means?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said it means to give back. To give back. I started to cry in front of 400 people. I felt like about that big. My grandfather used to backhand my brothers and I and told us, "Dewikis do not take, they give." I didn't know our name meant to give back. My grandfather was my hero. He was a sailor. He was a tough, gritty old captain. This guy was tough and gritty. Cuss like a sailor. You know somebody else like that? By the way, moms, dads, grandparents, uncles, aunts, I am the only college president that cusses like a sailor. I am a sailor, and I'm a proud sailor. So I've got to tell you, I am so profoundly proud of you guys, because I think your cohort has made the most significant change from start to end out of any. The 2 cohorts in this category here of graduation. When you really think quietly and pause, think about how you started, think about the trials and tribulations that you endured while you were here, and think about where you are today. You all have been offered a job. Education without a job is stealing. Moms, dads, aunts, uncles, I'm going to tell you something. Best bang for the buck in the United States, kids going to this school. It's cheap, but then they have earning power beyond belief. It's also the 6th best paying career in the United States. It's kind of cool. Did you earn it? How about some hell yeah? Right? So with that, I'm going to step back and enjoy the ceremony until I have to end it. But when I truly say I'm proud of you, I am truly proud of you. I am proud of all of our graduates. And that pride seems to grow and enhance itself every single year during graduation. I'm proud of this logo. I'm proud of that crest. I am proud you get to wear your jackets. It's a really cool moment. Those jackets are really cool. They're really cool. So please do yourselves, your families, your institution proud. And don't be afraid to wear those jackets out in public once in a while. Puff up. Kind of like, yeah. I am NMI. All right? With that, I get the pleasure of introducing my big brother. He puts up with a lot with me. Oh my God, he puts up a lot with me. The Reverend Dr. Vince Patton is one of the coolest people I know. When I say I love him like a brother, that's a lie. I love him because he is my brother. He has helped guide me. He has helped mentor me. He has helped shape me. And when I make mistakes, who do you think kicks me in the butt? With lots of love, unconditional love, right? So when the Reverend Dr. Vince Patton gets to come up here and share, people listen. With that, I'm going to step aside. Dr. Patton, please come share.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, especially to our graduates, family, friends, everyone here. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful, almost autumn day here. So there's a couple things that I really just come up very briefly to talk about. President DeWicki, I got Dr. DeWicki and President DeWicki. President DeWicki had made mention about the importance of NMI. And I invite your attention to looking at the mission statement that is in your program. And I don't have to read it over again, but I want you to just glance at it a little bit to tell you that this is the heart and soul of what NMI is all about. This is what takes those graduates as they're going through. And I know within the first couple of weeks, and I'm their leadership and ethics instructor as well as public speaking, but in that leadership and ethics, I know one of the key things that we talked about, particularly with the core values of this institution, with honesty, respect, and hard work, is very, very, very important. And it's very important not just to be part of the Mariners community, but most importantly is to give back, to carry on, and so forth. So my address quickly to you is about the NMI Foundation, the Northeast Maritime Institute Foundation. As President DeWicki said, that this program is relatively cheap from the standpoint of looking at the cost of academia across the board. In four-year institutions, we do in two. But the majority of our students that come here require some level of support to help get them through, to be successful, to go out and do the wonderful things that they do. This is where our NMI Foundation comes in. This is where we have helped many of the students, those that have donned their blazers today, and the ones sitting right behind them that will be donning their blazers in the future. So as my role within NMI as the president of the foundation and the oversight of our scholarship program is that I want to take just this minute to ask for your support, your involvement to help keep the growth of our NMI program. Your program should have a little bit of information about the NMI Foundation. If it doesn't, grab me afterwards and I'll make sure that you'll get that particular information. So that in itself is very important. We would not be here had it not been for the generous support that our NMI Foundation has provided, and the generous support primarily from the DeWicki family, who have been so instrumental in supporting the level of that foundation that allows these 10 wonderful graduates to be successful in life. The final thing I want to say, and I will turn it over, unless you want me to talk about each of the students. I'll save that.
We're going to do that.
I'm going to do that later. Okay, yeah, so I get to embarrass Nolan and Josh later. Okay. But I want to end with just saying this real quickly to particularly to the students here. Remember my favorite quote that I said, "Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, but most of all, love of what you're doing or learning to do." That was a quote from the great soccer player Pele. And it's a quote that I have shared with each and every student and graduate of this program, because that last phrase of love of what you're doing is very important. And it is the foundation, our NMI foundation, that helps to lead that support. So I ask for your support, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, President DeWicki and Dr. Patton. Now I'd like to welcome Captain Jamie Martin, Director of College of Maritime Science, to present the Stoles of Gratitude.
Make sure this is nice and low for me. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to be able to impart the story of the Stoles of Gratitude, which NMI has adopted as a way for our students to thank those who have been instrumental in their success during this period of learning at Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Studies. The legend of the Stole of Gratitude. In pre-medieval Europe, a monk traveling the countryside on a missionary pilgrimage found a starving young boy wandering through his burned-out village in a daze. Orphaned after the village had been destroyed by a band of martyrs, the only thing he carried was a piece of fabric from his mother's clothes that had been torn off in his hands as she was taken away by one of the invaders on horseback. Delivering him to the monastery, the monk set about teaching him to read and write. He schooled the boy in literature, history, and scientific thought, and trained him in the skills of debate and negotiation. The boy learned much and grew eager to know more about the world. When he left the monastery, he traveled to the royal city and became a squire to a knight, who trained him in horsemanship, swordsmanship, and the subtleties of court society. After several years, and no longer a boy, the young man's talents were brought to the notice of the king, who made him an advisor to the royal court. Contemplating his life's journey one day, he felt that he must acknowledge the support of his mentors. He took some fabric from his mother's dress, which he had always carried with him, some of the wool from his monastic robe, and some of the silk tunic he wore. With this, he fashioned 2 cloth stoles, embroidered with the runic symbol of his village, the crest of the knight he had served, and the emblem of the royal court. He had presented these stoles to the monk and the knight, along with letters proclaiming his gratitude. Eventually, he became a widely respected royal ambassador, but he never forgot the kindness and generosity which had enabled him to achieve his success. It became a tradition that sped throughout the country and beyond. The stole became a symbol of achievement for students and all faculty, with varying colors and emblems symbolizing different levels of study into institutions. Today, the Stole of Gratitude is worn by graduating students during the commencement ceremony as a symbol of their academic achievement and presented with honor to those who have provided aid and support in reaching their goal. The stole is worn during the commencement ceremony. After the ceremony, the new graduate presents the stole to someone who has provided extraordinary help or support. For example, parents, relatives, and even your mentors, who have helped with wisdom, words of support, or with financial assistance. Immediately after graduation, the graduate may take the stole from around his or her neck and place it around the neck of the recipient, along with a few words of thanks. At this time, I would like to ask the graduates to stand and approach the stage to receive their stoles of gratitude. Yeah, we'll keep them up there.
You guys want to line up there, I think.
Yeah, we'll call you up.
And then Vince is going to talk about it.
Okay? Don't worry, only we have the script, so nothing's going wrong here. Okay. All right. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to say something nice about each of the graduates here as they are presented their stole. So we start with Rowan Edwards. Rowan, front and center. Rowan has been very gracious throughout this entire time. And oftentimes I'd also say that he too was a mentor to many others. And I was always impressed with him and his, that somewhat stoic look that he has, but something was going on underneath that whole time, and it's always been good. So, Rowan, congratulations to you, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Luke, my main man, Orweiler. Luke Skywalker. So Luke reminded me many times over that of he and his brother, who he says he's the smartest of the two. Luke has been very, very involved in many ways and have been sort of the glue that has held things together, particularly not just within his cohort, but also through all the other cohorts throughout here. And it's been very much of a pleasure and enjoyment to have Luke. Luke, probably one of the key wonderful things about you was during our public speaking class, how you were able to pull it out at the last minute.
I'm a magician like that.
He is a magician, and that's for sure. Congratulations, Luke. Ray Canones, Raymond Canones. Ray, one of the shortest guys in the group. Another one that I say is the glue that always kept things together. You know, I had very little challenge with Ray in my classes, and I know from feedback with the other instructors that very little challenge because Ray kind of knew it all. It's to the point that we actually thought that he was cheating, that he knew everything up front, that he found the answers. But really, the true part of this is that this, I would say overall, this was Ray's neighborhood. He had it all laid out together, and my most impressive part about you was the exercise that went about moving the ships around and so forth. And I wasn't there when that happened, but I got the feedback of just who took charge and how things went on. So, Ray, that stove definitely is worthwhile, and thank you so much. Rania Arif. Rania, you know, the best thing I can ever say about her is that if I wanted happiness and something to laugh, not at her, but with her, she is a ball of fire. And I think I never forget looking at the picture when you went to firefighters training, wearing that outfit that was 3 times the size and weight. And she had it on with a smile, and all the things of what she did and how she carried things out. And to read the evaluation of your last internship, that you were just a take-charge person. You know, 98 pounds soaking wet, and I'm not sure if give or take a pound or two on this, but she carries almost a ton of enjoyment and pleasure for each and every one of us. Thank you. Nolan Bartello. Now, I got to clean this up. Nolan. All right, I'm going to be clean, Nolan. All right.
I hope so.
Nolan, you know, him and of course I'll call his partner in crime up here shortly, but between Nolan and his partner in crime, they just gave me just a lot of fun because just that look right now, the look on your face tells me right there that, okay, how do I get out of this? But Nolan, you have been such a joy to have us, and we are looking forward to your future and the things of what you're doing. Thank you. See, did I make it clean?
Good.
Aaliyah Camacho. Aaliyah, this is another one that I have personally accused that I think she knew all the answers before she got here. because particularly in my classes that I had with her, I always felt that she was in my head, because whenever I went to talk about something or whatever it is, Aaliyah had already thrown it out. And as you will see on your program about her having received the Lemley Award 4 times, that's, to me, I think is something not just noteworthy in support, but just how, not just intelligent you are, but just how super involved that you are. And I think you will be nothing but successful. As part of that Pele quote about loving what you do it very well. Thank you. Uh-oh. Do I have to call this guy up? Joshua Cunha. Josh, Mr. BMW. Well, you know, Josh is one of those guys that he would crack open the book about 2 minutes before the question would come up. This guy he can think on his feet, which means that if he comes up to you, first of all, make sure your wallet is within arm's reach. You know, he just like him and his buddy Nolan. These two guys, they were pretty much Mutt and Jeff together, and they were just a lot of fun. That's all the way across the board. But you did exceptionally well, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Michael Grove. Michael Grove, probably the only NMI graduate that has his own theme song. I wish I had it queued up for him when he came up here. But Michael is, you know, I would say this much about when Michael came here, it was a little bit of a challenge of sorts. But we saw before our eyes of how he had taken the challenge and made it to his advantage. And I can't say enough about how proud and happy I am of Michael, of all the things of what you're doing. And I know you're going to continue to do well. So thank you.
Thank you.
And now we call up, what's the word? Confidence. Mr. Kevin Confidence Hughes. Come on up there. Kevin. Okay, when I first met Kevin, I first had classes with Kevin, this was a guy that was truly scared of his own shadow. Would challenge his shadow to say who's the scariest, the shadow or him. And Kevin and I would just have this thing about confidence and how he just flourished completely, and most importantly, how you just take a commanding lead about doing things. And I also call him my songwriter, because it's not as much about doing songs and things along those lines, but just the thoughts and things that he brings up in one of the exercises in our leadership class, as well as our public speaking class, was about quotes and things like that. And Kevin was just, you know, when it comes to the lyrics of doing things, he was the guy. You want to talk about confidence, he's got it. So, Mr. Confidence.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. And last but not least, and not just by the definition of the letter Z in his last name, James Zing. James also has, in my opinion, from the standpoint of Pele's quote of loving what you do, and all of the other parts about sacrifice, determination, all those things, James had it. James also came in with some challenges, but he fed on those challenges and fed on them successfully and did so exceptionally well and so forth. And all I saw out of the 2 years here was continued growth to the point to where, look out world, James Zing is coming. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you, Captain Martin and Dr. Patton. Next, I have the privilege to introduce Dr. Angela DeWicki. Yes, thank you. Chief Academic Officer, who will present the Lemley List Awards. Thank you, Angela.
I got to move move this up a little bit. We should have ordered the speakers by height, maybe made it easier. I just love that Stoles of Gratitude presentation. I graduated from college, wore the stole, had no idea what it meant, why it was important. So I really appreciate that our students get to learn that, and then after the ceremony, go find that. I'm sure there's more than one, but you'll have to make a decision and pick one to identify that person that really made a difference and helped you succeed. And it's always fun to hear a little bit about each of you. Because we're small, we get to know all of you individually, see your growth, and it means a lot to me that we get to know you and you're not just walking down as a number. So I'll move on. I could talk about that for a long time. So the Lumley List Award recognition is awarded each semester to students who achieve superior academic performance. To qualify, students must complete at least 15 semester hours. That's easy here because we average 18, 19, 20 per semester, which is a little crazy, but with grades of C or better, maintain a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and complete the community service hours. So what is the Lumley Award? The award is named for Captain Norman W. Lumley, who also Lumley Hall is named after, who served the U.S. Coast Guard for 36 years and later continued his work in maritime safety and security. He played a leading role in major initiatives to protect mariners, improve marine safety, and prevent pollution worldwide. He represented the United States at the International Maritime Organization for more than 5 decades and helped shape key international treaties. After retirement, he continued to honor the mariner, including serving 15 years of Director of Maritime Safety and Security here at Northeast Maritime Institute. He also co-founded the Commonwealth of Dominica International Ship Registry. His legacy of service and dedication to mariners around the world continues to inspire us. Today, we celebrate our students who all follow in that tradition of excellence. Notably, one of our graduates has achieved this academic honor for their entire 2-year nautical science program. We already know who that is. But we are thrilled to recognize Aaliyah Camacho today with this honor. Will you please come up?
Thank you, Dr. Dewicki, and congratulations, Aaliyah. Very well earned. Now, please give a warm welcome to NMI's Registrar, Valerie Stewart, who will present another prestigious award to some of our graduates. Thank you, Valerie.
I really don't like doing this, so know and appreciate that only for you guys would I ever do something like this. So I'm presenting the Senior Chief Kehoe Award. Senior Chief Kehoe, also known as Jules, was a highly respected and deeply loved faculty member of our Nautical Science Department. She was taken from us far too soon. She retired from the U.S. Coast Guard as the Senior Chief Boatswain's Mate only days before beginning her work at NMI, after an honorable career devoted to serving her country and ensuring the safety of our seas. The insignia of the Chief Petty Officer in the Coast Guard carries powerful symbolism. The fouled anchor with its chain wrapped around it, often referred to as the sailor's disgrace, reminds every chief that there will be times when circumstances lie beyond their control. Yet even in those moments, a chief is called upon to finish the task, drawing upon humility and fortitude. Jules embodied that spirit. By her example, she showed our students what it meant to carry oneself with dignity and pride, to take responsibility, and to see a job done right. Today, it's my honor to recognize 2 of our graduating student mariners who have followed Jules' example. They've proven themselves as true shipmates who look after others and hold themselves and those around them to the highest standards. In Jules' memory and with gratitude for her legacy, I am proud to present the Senior Chief Kehoe Award to Rowan Edwards from cohort 15, and Kevin Hughes from cohort 16.
Thank you, Mrs. Stewart. Well-deserved, Rowan and Kevin. Congratulations. I would now like to welcome NMI instructor Captain Aaron Polino, who has a message for our graduates. Aaron?
So, when cohort 16 arrived at NMI, they were fully half of the student body. In cohort 15, with only 3 students, could have easily been overshadowed. Instead, you began working together. From the start, you learned to rely on each other, work together, and grow together. It wasn't always easy, but the bonds that you formed here are the true bonds of shipmates. When you go to sea for months at a time and have no choice but to interact with the same small group each day, interesting relationships develop. You aren't always happy with each other. But in the end, you learn to count on each other's strengths and shoulder up each other's weaknesses. In your 4 semesters here, there was no doubt that these bonds formed. You came to us as individuals from different backgrounds and experience, whether fresh out of high school, after a few years of college, working, or just trying to find your place. Really, from across the world and country, from Hawaii to Algeria, it didn't matter. You came to know and rely on each other, to lead with your strengths and follow when necessary. This will serve you well in life. On paper, you leave here with a degree in nautical science, a knowledge of navigation and seamanship, a continuation of the maritime traditions that many people think are regulated to the pages of history. For you, they are real, they are important, and will factor into your life long after you leave the classroom. But this is only a part of what you have gained here. In addition to the technical knowledge, there's another piece. We have the 3 tenets of success here at NMI that we'll mention over and over: honesty, integrity, and hard work. If you're going to be crossing the stage today, there's no question in my mind you all know how to do the last one. You've shown it time and again in class and on your internships, and if you keep up that hard work, you'll always have a job in this industry. Honesty. If you're honest, especially when you mess up, you'll be able to earn trust and respect. With honesty and hard work, there's very little you won't be able to accomplish. Integrity. Doing the right thing, even when no one is looking, especially when the choice isn't easy. You'll always be faced with shortcuts, easy ways out, and at times, these result in success. When every card falls in your favor, you may get to wipe the nervous sweat off your brow and chalk up a near miss. More often, they result in losses. So maintain your integrity. People will follow your example. The maritime industry is small, and your reputation will precede you, so make it a good one. This graduation is a little different than most traditional college commencements. When you walk out of this room, you will be a graduate of NMI. That part's true. And like most schools, you will be able to put that on your resume, hang the diploma on the wall, and be proud of your accomplishment. But that's only part of it. You are not only a college graduate, you are also a merchant marine officer. And in that, you've gone from a student to a peer in 2 short years. This license is substantial, and just by having it, you can find yourself in positions where people will look to you for advice and assistance. But don't forget what you've been told again and again. This is a license to learn. I was in your position once, 23 years old, with a newly minted Coast Guard ticket in hand, running boats up and down the length of the East Coast, and I was lucky that all the cards fell in line. It took a few years and a few near misses for me to realize there was a whole lot I didn't know. But thankfully, I did realize it. We've given you a lot of information and shared a lot of experiences, but we're not done with you. When you walk out those doors, you will walk into a close-knit community of mariners, our community. So continue to ask us questions. Let us know if you need a meal or a bed when you're passing through. You may have started here as students, but now you're shipmates.
His speech always gets me. Woo. Thank you, Captain Paulino. Next, I have the honor to introduce Captain Morgan DeWicki, NMI's Chief Operating Officer. Morgan?
You've noticed I'm pretty tall, and there is one dude on this stage who I wouldn't mess with, and I have the great fortune of introducing him today. It is my honor to welcome our next speaker and good friend of NMI, Michael Klein, to present the commencement address. But before he comes up, I would be remiss if I did not give him proper recognition. He is a founder, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and former professional athlete, which is why I'm a little intimidated. Mike Klein is a founder, strategist, and lifelong competitor on the field and in business. Over the past 30 years, he's built and led ventures across tech, telecom, clinical research, and sports entertainment. From pioneering internet content platforms at Viacom Networks to revolutionizing fantasy sports analytics at FSC Fantasy Sports Entertainment, he has always focused on innovation that drives impact. As the CEO of American Athlete Foundation, he combines his passion for sports and service to empower athletes and uplift communities. His executive journey includes senior leadership roles at Bell South, Exo Communications, and global pharmaceutical firms, as well as founding MCA Consulting to support international business development. He's proud to be a former NFL and CFL player, a military officer, and even served during his time in college, which I think is one of the most profound and impressive things I know about you, and a longtime advocate for children and families through the Mike Klein Celebrity Invitational and partnerships with service organizations like America's Promise, YMCA, and Boca Helping Hands, and the NFL Players Association. Can we all give a round of applause and warm welcome to Michael Klein.
Thank you, Morgan. Dream big, work hard, believe in yourself, enjoy the journey. I want to thank President DeWicki, Dr. DeWicki. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to have met the board last night. I'm really happy to see the graduates and the students and the program. I think it's all very wonderful. And I've followed and learned about you guys from abroad, and it's great to be here, to see it in person, to see my good friend and his family. And I want you all to know that this is an honor for me. I know it's a big day for you. It's a big day for your family, your loved ones. And I'd like to just start. It's going to be an interactive speech, but I just want to start with, can I get you guys to stand up and face the crowd, please, the graduates? And crowd, can you help me with this? How many of you out there is a family member? Raise your hand, please. Yes. How many of you out there supported these graduates in some way or fashion? How many of you are proud of these graduates? How many of you love these graduates? Graduates, how proud of you are these people in this crowd? Raise your hand. Right? How many of you have leaned on them for support in some kind of way? And how many of you have love for these people in this crowd today? Thank you very much. Thank you. You guys can be seated. Dream big, work hard, believe in yourself, right? Enjoy the journey. Today, you get to enjoy some of that hard work. You get to acknowledge some of the belief that people have in you. You get to demonstrate that you believed in yourself. And that's what this ceremony is about. I want to thank the board members that I met last night who worked tirelessly from all over the country to help Dr. DeWicki and help President DeVisky to make sure this program continues to grow and it continues to provide the service that the charter calls for. As you guys now get a chance to go out into the world, you have to have a dream, and that dream has to be big enough to scare you a little bit. And it's not just one dream. This is a dream. This dream to come here, to make it through the class, to get your certification. It's a dream. It's an accomplishment. And what did you do for this dream? You worked hard. You believed in yourself. Right? And now you get to enjoy this journey. And I'm proud to be able to enjoy it with you. We are now linked forever. When you think of this day will always be a milestone in your life, and I'm a part of it. The people on the stage, they're a part of it. Those people behind you, they're a part of it. I got a little background about some of you. And it resonated with my journey. I accomplished a lot, but I had to dream big. My dream was probably not big to some people, but it was big. It scared me. It scared me to be the first in my family to go to college. It scared me. To think that I could, it scared me to think that I could make a living. Out of something that I loved. But I wasn't too scared to work hard. It actually drove me to work. And I learned to believe in myself. And at times, I got to enjoy the journey. retiring my mother, buying her first home, first new car, that was my big dream. And I had a lot of support, a lot of people supported me. I had people that helped me that didn't really know me. But they saw me working, and they saw me working hard, and they helped, and they contributed. And that's what you all just saw. Some of these people, they see you chasing your dream, working hard, believing in yourself, and they believe in you. People ask me sometime about how do you keep going? How do you stay focused? The reason why I wanted you to see them, because they're with you. You'll quit on yourself a lot sooner than you'll quit on them. I wouldn't quit on my mother. And then I wouldn't quit on my kids. And then I wouldn't quit on my teammates, my comrades. That is what life is, and that's where you are. You got to enjoy this and enjoy what you've accomplished. It's big. And big is not big for everybody, but it's big for the people in here, and that's what matters. Right? Dream big, work hard, believe in yourself, and enjoy the journey. Pay attention to the details, right? How you have your jacket on, how did you button it? I saw them coaching you all the way through. Take your hands out your pocket. Right? Those are people that believe in you. Those are your stakeholders. Right? Now you can call my office and you can give your name and say, I'm part of the 2025 class from MNI. I want to speak to Mr. Klein. You'll get me. And if you don't get me, I'm going to call you back. Right? I understand what today means to you. I understand what it means to them. My mother never missed a game. And at the very last game that she went to, she was still cheering for the other team. And the players all said, leave her alone. Let her have fun. Some of you came from a long distance. You know, on my teams and my units, we came from a lot of different places, a lot of different backgrounds. We had a common focus, a common goal. We all wanted to be our best and do our best, right? We had a big dream. When I met Eric, President Davisky, I was chasing a dream. Eric was chasing, right? And we came together from different parts, different worlds, like you guys did. And we chased our dream. There were some people that believed in Eric before Eric believed in himself. When I met Eric, he was trying to find himself. but he had a dream, and people saw good things in him. The guy that he thought, the coach that he thought hated him the most, that rode him constantly, was one of his biggest supporters. He would tell everybody how much potential that kid has, and he doesn't know it. And he rode him hard on the details. But look where he is. Look what he's doing. Look how that seed is now harvesting this type of potential to send out and impact our world, impact our communities, impact people that we love. Right? That comes from a big dream. It comes from working hard. He eventually started believing in himself. And here we are. When you go out from here, there's a couple things you need to subscribe to. And you owe it to the people behind you. And you owe it to yourself. I need you to be bold, be brave, and be kind. Kindness is not a show of weakness. I'm the kindest, gentlest guy that you want to meet outside of my former profession. I'm the meanest, toughest guy you ever want to meet in my profession. But I never cheat. I never take shortcuts. I work hard. And even when I defeat another person, they congratulate me. When someone defeats me, I congratulate them because I know they worked hard. You can't take days off and beat me in anything. And so I have no problem congratulating you because I know you've studied my tendencies, you've honed your skill to a level that would outdo mine. I congratulate you. And your skill sets, your knowledge is going to be tested. And it could be tested in some life-threatening situations. You have to then be bold. And you have to be brave, but you also have to be kind. You're born with humanity, right? You can't get that from anywhere else. We're born with humanity. And humanity is kindness, it's caring, and you're born with that, and you have to make sure wherever you go, you take humanity with you. Everywhere in the world I go, the common thread is humanity, right? And we're taught everything else. So make sure you pepper that in. Everything you're taught, bring humanity with it. Just in closing, if you ever want to test your character, do something for someone that can't do anything for you. Any day of the week. When you want to test your character, when you want to check your moral compass, just go do something for someone that can't do a thing for you. And then you'll see. And if you look back over your past week and you haven't done it, check yourself. Life moves fast, but be kind. It doesn't take much. And if you haven't done it, go do it. Do something for someone that can't do a thing for you. I was in the mall and I heard someone talking about doing magic. And I was in the mall and a little girl was giving out makeup samples and putting them on people. And I asked the little girl, I said, "Hey, can you make me beautiful with that?" And she said, "I'm an esthetician, not a magician." Enjoy the journey. There are moments This is a big one, but there were many as you guys were going through it. And it's tough by design. They test your metal. They have to heat that metal up, right? That's how you forge strong metal. Enjoy the journey. Always be present and always be a presence. Okay, I tell my kids this, I tell everyone this. Always be present, always show up. This tells me that you showed up, right? Because you completed it. But always show up. And when you show up, always contribute. Always be a presence. And then you will create your luck. You will create your good fortune, and you will then help others to advance as well. And when you worry about others, and when you love others, a lot of good fortune will come to you because your focus is now on others. It's on the good of the entire unit, the entire company, the industry, the business. Love others. Focus on that. It'll come to you. It will come. Whatever you're after, it will come. So in closing, I, Mike Klein, give you permission to go be great. Okay? I give you permission to dream big, work hard, believe in yourself. Enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful. Whew. Thank you very much, Mr. Klein. Okay, we've now arrived at a very exciting part of our graduation that you've all been waiting for. I would like to introduce NMI's Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Vince Patton, for our conferring of degrees. Vince?
Our NMI graduates, it is with great pleasure as Chairman of the Board of Trustees to confer the degrees that you're about to receive and the hard work that you've done over the past 2 years. Congratulations.
President DeWicki, if you would please do the honors, and I will hand these to you.
I always think this part's kind of cool because you heard me last graduation, kind of get a little animated. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the achievements, hard work, and dedication of our graduates. We will now begin the most important part of the graduation ceremony, conferring the degrees. First and foremost, Rowan Edwards. I know, but think about it. It's cool stuff. We got to do pictures here. You don't get to get away with that. Luke, I am your father. Orweiler.
Thank you.
Raymond Quinones. Real quick, some of you heard this earlier, but I've known this little girl since she was about 3 months old. And she came to school all the way from Algeria, the Republic of Algeria, and her dad and her mom are here. Wow, it's a proud moment for me as an uncle. So, Rania Arif. Nolan the Hairdo Botello.
I don't think we should give this to you.
Aaliyah Camacho. Joshua Cunha.
Let me check my wallet.
Michael Groh. Kevin Confidence Hughes.
What's the word, Kat? Confidence. All right. All right, man.
And last but not least, James Zhang.
All right, smile this time. It is a smile.
I think that's you right next.
Congratulations, everyone. Okay, so at this time, I would like the families and graduates to hang around for a little bit. We have a photographer here, so when we break and exit, Please just hang around to get your photos taken. Families as well, if you want to take a picture with your graduate, please feel free. Otherwise, the reception is directly following at Brigantine Hall. So we can enjoy some time together, some food, some beverages, and just enjoy and celebrate our 10 graduates. So thank you all very much for coming today. Congratulations to cohort 15 and 16. And thank you. Do you have any some parting words or before we go?
Yeah. You don't think you're getting out of here early, do you? This is the one moment I get to reflect annually. What do you want to hear about? I've never done this before. What do you want me to talk about? How much I'm going to miss you. All right. Okay. We're going to talk about missing people. Wow, this is off the cuff. This is really off the cuff. It is true. When you work with your students for a couple of years and you see them leave the nest like your children. I sat up here and I cried 3 times. All of you know I'm an emotional guy. I feel deeply, good, bad, and indifferent. But I'll tell you, this is a bittersweet day for me. It is, I get so proud, I get so excited to see you guys go on your journey. I know each one of your stories. I know who worked the hardest on themselves to get through it and is extremely successful going into his or her future. To say I'm going to miss you is an understatement. I'm going to deeply miss you guys. Raymond, can't believe you've been traveling and you didn't contact me. So a little bit about my kind of last month here. I have been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to Qatar. I've been to the United Arab Emirates, where we have an office. I've been out of my work for quite a few years. The work that I did to facilitate peace. My passion is peace, ladies and gentlemen. And there's never been a greater time that we need peace, in fact, in our own country. And some of us who have served, not only in uniform, but out of uniform, things that we might not be able to talk about, to facilitate peace, to get people to come together, to get them to embrace one another in our differences and find those things that we have in common in our value streams. You talk about, I'm going to miss you. Your father, who's sitting in the crowd, another one of my brothers, I've missed him deeply. And for him to send you here to go to school and entrust you with our family, our NMI family, is a beautiful thing. When I met Rania's dad, it was during a pretty rough time in Algeria. They were dealing with a civil war. And it was pretty ugly. And villages were being blown up and people were being murdered. And we got together. He called me out of the blue one day. I answered the phone. And he said, hey, we need to meet this international safety ship and port security code. And could you take care of our vessels? Little did he know who he was calling. And we ended up scheming together. It was scheming to create the Algerian National Maritime Security Plan from a policy perspective. And that was the first democratic effort that their president, Bouteflika, agreed to. And Bouteflika was known by the United States as this really heavy-handed guy. I'm going to control everything. Military guy, strong man. But the work that Monsieur Halim Arif and I got to do together basically planted the seeds for a democratic election 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that 3 million Algerians congregated in Algiers in a peaceful protest to demand a democratic election, for the first democratic election in decades. And Algeria elected its first democratic leader in probably 30 years. When you miss people, not only do you miss them here, you might miss them in your thoughts and in your prayers and in their soul. So, as Mr. Klein said, when he had you look at the crowd, the people that are here to support you, the people who are here to love you, he said, dream big, I'm going to say love big. Do you remember the first talk I gave to you guys about how to learn how to love each other? Rowan, you looked at me like I was crazy. And I know that. I know that. He truly loves you. And what happens is we have to learn how to love each other unconditionally, with our strengths, our weaknesses, our flaws, the things that actually piss us off about each other. And there isn't a better time in this country that we need to learn how to love each other and respect each other and live with dignity to embrace the fact that we're all different. And we really are. Think about it. Every single one of you, all 10 of you, is very, very different. There's not one of you alike, personality-wise, by the way. Some of you guys hang around each other, but you're really not even close to being alike. You're all individuals. Well, that is the beauty of freedom. You don't have to dress alike. You don't have to act alike, even though we do the uniform thing. You know, quite frankly, we do the uniform thing just because it's easier and cheaper and to get you guys to come dressed as in a normal setting and clean, cut, and shaven and learn how to take orders. That's why we do that thing. But your personalities far exceed what you look like. And you learned how to love each other unconditionally. There was no headaches, no real headaches. You might have had your own individual headaches. There was no drama, no real drama. We've seen some real drama here. All right? So when you leave this place, the biggest question that I have, are you going to miss me? The reality is, probably you say, man, I'm just so happy I'm not going to get a lecture by this guy. But I will tell you this much, I'm going to miss you. And I hope you stay in touch, not with just me, with everybody that works here that has been taken part in your life to see you succeed to this point. And just know you are well loved. Who's hungry? Let's get ready to eat. Here we go. What happens now?
They take pictures and we exit the stage.
Let them know.
Okay, so everyone, please take pictures. Adam will do the honors of taking the graduates' photos.
We gotta do the percentage. We forgot the percentage.
She's gonna do the exact